Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday Sweat Club. Hello to everyone joining live today. I love seeing your faces. Thank you for coming live. For everyone who is watching the replay, I hope you can feel the energy we've created and that we're sending to you on the replay as well. A few things exciting this week to announce is that I have a new 3-day weekend retreat. It is a tech detox. So basically, you're not going to have your phone for 40 hours here in Mallorca at the end of May. I will send a little link about it in the video replay that you'll get on from the Zoom link as well. So you can let me know if you have any questions. Really excited about that. And today we are going to be moving into one of my favorite poses. So start in a way that feels nurturing for you, maybe Shavasana, but maybe if you need energy, you're in a seated meditation, just something that your body is craving and you can hold for approximately 4 minutes. And then shut down your eyes. All settle into this time we have together. How fortunate are we, right, to have this hour to practice with one another, to get in touch with our bodies. So to begin, shut your eyes down, make your jaw really heavy. Your shoulders are heavy, hips are heavy. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly out your mouth. Close your mouth. And then inhale through the nose, push your diaphragm out and feel it expand. As you exhale, pull the belly button in and up, feel the diaphragm contract. Imagine a balloon. Inhale, belly out, diaphragm expands. Exhale, belly button up and in, contract. Keep doing this breath, imagining this balloon that's getting bigger and bigger as it expands and contracts. See how big you can blow up your balloon. Now continue this breath, but take your left hand to your heart. So you can continue to feel the diaphragm expand and contract, but bring your awareness maybe to your heartbeat. And if you can't find it in your hand, maybe you can find it somewhere else in your body. Almost a micro version of what our lungs are doing, our heart is expanding and contracting. Keep expanding the breath. Inhale. The heart will go on its own as we exhale. And right now the heart's a little bit slower, right? The expansion and contraction will speed up as we move with both the heart and the breath. Release your left hand down, bring your right hand to your belly, and take 5 more of these huge breaths before we start to move. As you may have gleaned, today's class is about expansion and contraction. something that naturally occurs in our bodies, but also in life. As we move out of winter and into spring, we're entering a period of expansion. And maybe you don't feel that yet. That's okay. Or maybe you do. But just consider where in your life you are in this cycle of expansion and contraction. Maybe you're just turning inward now, or maybe you're about to explode and expand out. Breath in. Exhale, release your hand from your stomach. If you are on the ground in Shavasana, you can stay there. If you are in a seat, untangle your legs and then round through your spine. We're all going to meet in Happy Baby. So reach your hands forward if you're up and then come up to Happy Baby. If you're in Shavasana, move nice and slow and then find yourself in this position. I've heard from a few teachers, they're like, I don't love to teach this because it's so awkward. And yes, it's kind of an awkward position, but today I hope to make you fall a little in love with it. So your hands should be on the outside of your feet and your knees should be on the outside of your triceps. Push the knee into the tricep and the tricep into the knee as you push your feet into your hands. So there should be a contraction, right? A pulling in of the knees and an expansion, a pushing out of the feet while you try to contract, pull in with the hands. Now you can do this really gently, or you can start to really strengthen. We're early in class, so just get curious about what muscles need to engage to support this posture. Breath in. And then exhale, relax, release your feet, but keep them exactly where they are. And then bring your hands out to a T by your sides, palms face up. So we're in this hilarious half happy baby frog pose type of thing. Inhale, lift your hands up to the ceiling and then reach your chest up to the sky through your legs. And then exhale, lower your back down to the mat. And then release your hands down to the ground in the T shape. So we'll flow with this for a little bit, warming up the core. Inhale, hands come high, reach, lift the shoulders. Exhale, upper back comes down, arms to a T. Inhale up, reach, see how high you can get your fingertips towards the ceiling or the sky if you're outside. And then exhale, lower the back down, arms out to the side. We've got one more time. Inhale, hands come up, reach, and then stay as you exhale. One more inhale. Exhale, hands come to the outsides of the feet, back into the supported happy baby. Push your knees into your triceps, triceps into your knees. Push your hands into your feet. Breath in and out. Inhale. And then exhale, release the feet once more. Keep the knees where they are. Bring your arms back out to the T, palms face up. Zip your knees together. So now you're hugging the knees in together, ankles together. Drop your heels towards your butt and then you wrap your arms around your shins. Hug yourself into a little ball. Just give yourself a nice wrap. Maybe you tell yourself a cute little compliment while you're here, right? It's a hug. Tell yourself how awesome you are. I mean it. Breath in. And then exhale, lower the head down. Release the hands by your sides. Keep your knees into your chest. Inhale the feet up to the sky, push the heels high. And then exhale, hands come behind the thighs, bend into the knees, and just rock and roll on the spine. So as you rock and roll, try to be mindful about hitting every vertebra as you roll down and roll back up. And if you're not hitting everyone, don't worry. It's actually a pretty hard task, but we're going to do our best, right? Take one more and then come up to center. Reach your legs out in front of you, hands by your sides. Curl your toes back towards your face. Drop your chin, the back of your neck opens, staff pose. Close your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. Another breath in and out. One more inhale. And then exhale, relax through the arms, relax through the feet, blink your eyes, open. A few options here. Option one, you can come and bring your butt on a pillow. If you have trouble sitting up straight when your legs are extended in front of you, I recommend do a pillow to elevate yourself off the ground. If you're okay, you can stay here and actually close the angle a little bit if it's easy for you to sit up straight and your back is flat, right? Now, shift your weight over into your left leg. So you're going to kind of put some weight in this left leg. You don't know where you're going yet, but it's going to come in handy, I promise. And then as you exhale, draw your right knee up to your chest. So you're just going to slide the knee up, keep sliding, 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 sliding. See how close you can get it to your butt, and then release the foot on the ground. Now, you might notice that you're not that close to your butt. That's totally fine. You can take the hand, pull it in. Hands come by your sides, and then we'll move to an easy twist. Hands high. Exhale, twist. Wrap your left arm around that knee, maybe gaze behind you. Notice your right shoulder. It should be rolling back as you take a breath in. And then exhale, twist and turn. Moving a little bit more with every breath. Inhale. Exhale, twist. One more. Inhale. Exhale, twist. And then inhale, bring yourself back to center, hands by your sides. Now, breath in, try to lift that right foot up off the mat and hover it at a 90-degree bend, just holding it in towards the chest. Inhale your right hand high, and then exhale your right hand to the inside of that foot. I know, strange, right? So ideally, you've got your knee connected to your tricep, your wrist connected to your ankle. If this is really hard, the foot can be on the ground and you're doing the same thing. We're just bringing the arm to the inside of the leg, right? The goal here is to push. So push your knee and your ankle into your arm and your wrist, all this, this whole thing, this meaty thing. Push that out towards your leg. 3, 2, and then 1, very slowly with control, right? Because we care about our transitions. Straighten that right leg. You can just release the right hand down, right leg down. Perfect. Breath in and out. If that was too strange, don't worry, you've got a whole nother side to figure it out. So shift the weight over into the right leg, push your right foot down to support you. As you inhale, draw the right knee or the left knee up into the chest as high as you can get it, and then wiggle the foot back to the hip. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Then once you're there, like I said, you might notice, okay, I'm gonna pull that foot in, get it a little closer. Inhale the hands high. Exhale, twist over to the left side, take the wrap, and then your left shoulder, your shoulder blades should be retracted, right? So squeeze your shoulder blades together. Inhale. Exhale, twist, look over the shoulder. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Keep the right leg alive. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Reach your hands high. And then exhale, both hands down to the ground. Inhale your left leg up. We have a 90-degree bend. So the foot's flexed. Remember, the other option is down here. And then you'll inhale left hand high and bring it to the inside of the left leg. So we're connecting roughly, right? Knee to tricep, not on the elbow ideally. And then ankle to wrist can be here. The goal is to push the arm into the leg into the arm. So all those muscles in your inner leg, you should be feeling. And if you're not pushing hard enough, then you won't be shaking. But if you are pushing hard enough, you're going to be like, what's happening? So push a little harder. 3, 2, and then 1. Try to keep the foot where it is if it's up. Inhale your left hand high. Exhale, left hand to the ground, left leg extends, and then release the foot down to the ground. Awesome work. Inhale the hands high. Let's take a brief fold. Exhale, lean. flat back, and then forehead can come down towards the shins. Maybe it's way up in the air here, but the idea is dropping the neck and head down to the ground, right? If you can get your feet, a good opportunity to pull yourself down and in and round. Try to imagine rounding through the upper spine a bit more if you're pulling. It'll come in handy later. Breath in and out. Another breath in and out. Push your heels into the ground and then inhale, roll yourself up by squeezing the core in one vertebra at a time until you come back to your staff pose, head high. And then exhale, hands come down to the ground, kick your feet around, find your tabletop pose, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Close your eyes. Today, I'm going to let you just rock with your cat-cow for a little bit. So flow with your breath. Remember to get curious about what your spine is telling you today, right? Instead of moving just automatically, move with intention. I like to do inhales, belly drops, shoulders roll back, gazing up to cow, and exhale, rounding to cat. Take one more in each direction. And then make your way back to tabletop. Walk your hands one handprint forward. Curl your toes under, lift your knees to hover, or just push your feet and hands away from each other. So two options. You're either up or you're down. Either way, you're pushing the hands. And if you look at where my wrists are in comparison to my shoulders, they're pretty far out, right? This is our prep for our down dog. You should feel your quads starting to turn on. Maybe you can push your butt back towards your heels a little bit more. 3, 2, and then 1, butt back, downward facing dog. Take a little time to pedal the feet out. This is my first time doing down dog in a few days, and I had injured my ankle and it feels way better today. So notice, how does your down dog feel different today than the last time you did it? Injuries tend to make it more obvious, but if we tune into the subtleties, right, of what our body's saying, what feels good about your down dog today? Come to stillness, both heels sink down. Inhale, look forward. Big bend in the knees. And then one step at a time to the top of the mat. The goal here is to keep as much weight as you can in your hands. So you might need to bend your knees a lot to get there, but keep the weight until you can walk yourself into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift once you're there. Maybe hands come to shins so you can retract the scapula. And then exhale, fold down. Take that again. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, bend in your knees really, really deeply, probably. So ideally, I need your hands on the ground for this next posture. If you can't get your hands to the ground, find something in your house right away to set up for this posture. You might have a chair. You could even be here. The goal is a flat back. So nothing higher than here to here is the best. So look around. If you're watching this later, you can pause me. If you're with me now live, find that object, squeeze your scapula together, just like we did before. Shift your weight into your left leg, and then reach your right foot back. So we can start here. Pull your left hip back in space. So naturally, our right or our left hip's going to come forward. We're going to pull that back, and then you can reach the right foot up off of the ground. Hands help. The reason I cue like I want your hands firm is because this is hard. So you might have a really big bend in the left knee and you're reaching the foot up, or your leg might be straight and you're reaching the foot up. Everyone think about pulling the left hip back as you reach the right foot long. Inhale. Exhale, hold. Breath in. Exhale. Notice if the legs started to drop like mine. One more inhale. And then exhale, both feet together. Fold into Uttanasana. You can leave your support where it is if you need it. Inhale, lift yourself up. Hands are either on the ground with a big step back. Left foot will come back this time, and you could be here, right? Notice how bent my knee is. Or find your object, lift yourself up a little bit more, pull back into the right hip, and then lift that left leg high. Shoulders continue to retract, shoulder blades, right? Imagine I'm behind you and you're trying to pinch my finger behind your shoulder blades here. Strong through the standing leg. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If the foot drops, recalibrate and lift. One more breath in. And then exhale, left foot next to right. This time you can move your prop out of the way and fold into Uttanasana. Knees can be bent a little bit if that feels better for you. Inhale, half lift. This time, exhale, butt back, hands forward, chair pose. Feels nice, right? It's our first time we had our torso up so far in class. So allow the blood to kind of come back to your head as we hang out in chair. Squeeze your legs together today. So I want the legs squeezing inward. Sometimes I tell you to push out, but today, imagine you could just glue the knees together. Glutes should be rock hard. Breath in. And then exhale. Come to standing, hands by your side, Siddhasana. Inhale. Exhale. All right, moving now. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, plank pose or tabletop. So it's up to you. If you're in tabletop, I want you to try to pull your feet and your hands together. So you should feel this contraction. If you're in plank pose, same thing. And it's gonna be like 30 times harder to hold plank. When I do it, I can't even talk. Okay, now we'll lower down slow together. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, baby cobra. Everybody to start with baby cobra because I'll ask you to lift your hands and then exhale, hold. So remember, every breath in, we get a little higher. Exhale, stay. Inhale, up. Exhale, stay. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forehead to the mat. Hug the elbows in, curl the toes under. Press yourself up. It can be any speed today, either plank or tabletop. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. Another breath in. And out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk slowly with control. Top of the mat, make your way into Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, chair pose one more time. Okay, so biceps by the ears. Find the squeeze of the legs in once more. So they're hugging in. And then everybody drop like way more, because I know this is kind of one of those things, right? We get into the chair pose and then we realize we're up here, but we could be down here, which is where we're going to be together today. Breath in. Reach the arms by the ears, breath out. One more breath in. Exhale, come to standing, hands by your side, Siddhasana. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep the hands high. We expand as we reach up. Exhale, fold forward. We contract as we come down. Inhale, expanding, halfway lift. And then exhale, big bend in the knees. Plant the hands just like you did before and step your right foot back. So right foot comes back. Then wiggle your left foot out to the side of the mat. So your left foot will come to the outside of your left tricep. Just like we've been working, this is going to be a theme today. So get used to it. Hug the knee into the elbow into knee. Option to bring the back knee down and just settle into this posture if you really need a deep stretch. Otherwise, you can stay up with me, pull your left hip and your left foot backwards, your right big toe forward. So hard. If you look at my mat, look at this. Try to imagine you're squinching up your mat. You're pulling so hard as you sink the hip down. So why do we do this? We get into our passive range and then we engage in the passive range. And that's what we're working on. Now, no matter where you are, no matter what you've chosen for your lower body, round through your upper spine. So push in your hands and then imagine I'm coming under and trying to like tickle your belly button. So try to pull the belly button in, round, push into the hands. 3. Don't forget about the legs though, team. 2. And then 1, breath in. Exhale, everybody lower the back knee down, untuck the toes. So we're all together now. And then inhale up, it's a wide Anjaneyasana. So it's gonna feel a little off kilter, but your legs out to the side. Exhale, sweep the hands down, curl the toe under, lift the back knee up. And then remember, it might take you a couple steps to get to the front of the mat, or you can bend into the back knee, step in one big step into Uttanasana and bring both feet together, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, we expand. Exhale, fold, contract, plant your hands, big bend in the knees, step the left foot back. So setting up our options, option 1, knee comes down, you work on this passive stretch. Wiggle your right foot out to the side so everybody has the hands into the center, knee to tricep connection if you haven't already. Option 2, bring it on up and then sink the hip down. Now pull your right foot backwards, your left foot forwards, your right hip as well. I had a student ask me the other day, like, what do you mean by pull? It kind of depends. Like for me, I start to kind of pull and pull and pull, and I pull harder and harder and harder until I'm shaking. Your option is also to just pull very lightly and start to get engagement in these muscles, right? Because I've spent time building them, but when we start from the beginning, we might not have that mind-body connection and that strength. Yes, I'm trying to talk you from distracted or talking to distract you. Keep pulling back and forth, back and forth. Great. Everybody lower the back knee down, untuck the toe. Now our wonky Anjaneyasana, hands come high, reach them up. Exhale, sweep the hands down, inside the foot, curl the back toe under, lift the back knee. Look forward, breath in. Exhale, step both feet together, which you'll have to wiggle that right foot in, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend in your knees, butt back, take your arms wide, push up to standing, look high. And then we're coming right back down. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, plant the hands, bend in the knees, step back, plank pose or tabletop. Remember, if you're in tabletop, you just keep pushing the knees and hands and feet away from each other. We lower down together. 3, 2, and then 1. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog. If you're in up dog, no thighs on the mat and you're pulling your hips forward, squeezing your scapula together. Exhale, everybody down to the mat. Curl the toes under, hug the elbows in. Triceps are about to engage, blast off, and exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale your right leg high. Left hip back in space. Push into your hands. Hip is closed. Exhaling, staying. Another breath in. And then exhale, take your right knee to your right tricep. All together if we can, round through the spine. So notice how like dramatically I'm trying to round. You might be here. You might be here, but think round spine, connect, take another breath. I know. Everyone's like, Vinyasa is so hard. You know, it's harder as holding this forever. Exhale, step your foot through. Low lunge. There we go. Okay. Foot between the hands. Inhale up. Crescent pose. I'm out of breath. Now, pull that right hip back in space and then sink into the front knee. Breath in. Exhale, sweep the hands backwards, come to airplane. So normally we do this posture straight through the back leg, right? And we hold an airplane with a flat back from head to toe. Today, I'd like you to try to round through your spine. So it's almost like you're going to round and bring your chin to the front of your knee. It's really, really hard. And you might fall over, you might come in, you might come out. But try to think round spine while keeping the legs low. This is the other challenge because once we try to round, our legs kind of lift. 3, 2, and then 1. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot. Push and step up and back, downward facing dog. Breath in and out. Inhale your left leg high. Pull the right hip back in space. Exhale, stay as you push into your hands. Another breath in. And then exhale, try to bring the left knee to the left tricep. Reminder, you might just be here, but everybody round through the spine. So think cat in your spine as you connect the knee to the tricep. Maybe you can align your shoulders over your wrists. 3, 2, and 1. Foot between the hands. Inhale up, crescent pose. Exhale, pull the left hip back in space. Then sink down. One more breath in. Exhale, sweep the hands back, airplane. So we start with the flat back, straight through your back leg. Then think cat, one more time in the spine, right? And exhale, start to round through your upper and lower back while staying low in the legs. Imagine you're going to touch your chin to the front of your knee. If you fall out, come back in. You might even be up here, right? Legs high. We're still rounding. It's the same concept. It doesn't matter what height you go through. I know we look like a creepy, I don't even know what we look like, vampire for some reason. Just find a version where you're moving, right? And you're sinking into the legs. 3, 2, and then 1. Everybody up. Inhale. Exhale. Sweep the hands down. Frame the foot. Push into the palms. Step back. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. Inhale, look forward. Bend in your knees. Step slowly, or maybe you really want to hop today. I will let you hop. Fold at the top of the mat. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, butt back, arms wide. Push yourself up. Look high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. And out. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up. We're going to flow with it this time. Exhale, hands through heart center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank or tabletop, and then lower slow. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, upward dog or baby cobra. No hands, right? Exhale, lower down. Curl your toes under, hug your elbows in. Push yourself up, plank pose. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Get ready to rejoice because this is much easier when we do it to one breath to one movement. Inhale your right leg high. Exhale, right knee towards your right tricep. Inhale, stay. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale up, crescent pose, hands high. And then exhale, sweep, airplane arms. Okay, this is where we get strange. Inhale, round through the spine, but stay low in the legs. Reminder, you might be up here. Arms are reaching back, back, back. Exhale, release the hands down to the ground. Plant them. Lift up, back, downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. Inhale your left leg high. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. We stay for one inhale, and then exhale, step through, low lunge. Inhale up, crescent pose. Exhale, sweep the hands back, airplane with our flat back, and then inhale, start to round like a weirdo, tuck your chin. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this shape and be like, what is even happening? Exhale, sweep the hands down, frame the foot, push into the hands, step up and back, downward facing dog. Breath in and out. Okay, inhale, look forward. Bend in your knees, a few options. We're coming to a yogi squat. So option one is you step one foot and then the other foot to the outside of your hands. Option two, maybe you take a big bend and you jump and hop the feet to the outside. So come to your yogi squat. For some of you, this might be what you look like, where you're like, yeah, I could hang out here all day. But if you've practiced with me before, you know that's not fair to everybody else that's up here. So we're all gonna lift up out of our yogi squat. Hands can come to heart center. Press your knees into your elbows into your knees. If that doesn't work, hands to the inside of the knees. You might be here. I don't care where you are. You're just pushing, right? Pushing in. Find that contraction, that hug. So we're going to move with an expansion and contraction. I promise you're going to like it, or maybe not. I can't say promise. You're going to like it or think it's weird, right? That seems fair. Okay, so as you expand, you're going to inhale, push yourself up slow, reach the hands high. This is basically a star pose. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Sink yourself down into your version of a yogi squat, but I don't want it any lower than about 90. Push, knees into triceps or knees into elbows, hands. Inhale up, expand. Exhale, contract, coming down, knees to elbows, squat. I've got an idea. So we're gonna lift up, expand once more, reach. And then we're changing it up this last round. Come back down, yogi squat, you can do it. Get on low, Stay at about halfway. Now, just like we did before in all of our other postures, can you imagine I'm gonna tickle your belly button and I want you to pull your belly in. So I'm gonna come there and I'm like, woo, pull your belly in, round your shoulders. Imagine cat pose. Try to look down at your pelvis, tuck your chin. Hands can stay together or even hands on the knees, but I want the spine rounded. 3. I know my legs are killing me too, don't worry. 2. And then 1. Oh my God, let's all push up. We can do it. Reach high. Exhale, feet together. Hands by your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Take 3 more. Slow down the breath, slow the heart rate. One more inhale. And exhale. Okay, at the top of the mat, shift your weight over into your left leg. So nice heavy weight in the left leg. Draw your right knee up to 90. Reminder, you can be at a wall because I'm worried more about the rotation of the thigh. So first, externally rotate the thigh, roll the thigh out, foot comes up and in. We've worked on this before, so I'm not going to talk through it too long. Inhale, we'll internally rotate. I've got the breath going the right way to help me this time. Exhale, externally rotate. Inhale, internally rotate. All right, exhale, externally rotate. Now, looking down at your leg, think about what's happening. Our thigh is rolling out, our foot is coming up and in. Can you take your hand, take your right hand, bring it to the inside of the knee while you're in external rotation? Push the knee into the hand and the hand into the knee. So even though the thigh is rotating, we are hugging the thigh up and in. So try this. Keep thinking, okay, rotate and okay, push. It should be challenging, right? But hopefully you feel new little muscles working in the inside of the pelvis almost. 3, 2, keep pushing the knee into the hand. 1, release. Both feet together. Close your eyes. Notice the difference between hips. Mine are like two different worlds right now. Breath in. And out. Okay, shift your weight over into your right leg. And then once more, bring the knee up to 90. Reminder, you can have the balance. We will inhale, internally rotate. So thigh will roll in, foot out. Exhale, externally rotate. Now be aware of this hip. If this hip is involved, it shouldn't be. Hands come to the hips if you can. Inhale, internally rotate, not moving that hip. Exhale, externally rotate. This is hip-focused capsule work. Inhale, internally rotate. Exhale, we externally rotate, stay. Left hand to the inside of the knee. So think about continually rolling the thigh out and the foot in as you push the hand into the knee and the knee into the hand. Ideally, you push so much that you're kind of shaking. My standing leg, everything's shaking, right? So just try to find that edge where you're like, okay, I'm working. Remember, faces, swearing, all of this is normal. I can't hear you anyway, so you can say whatever you want. 3. Keep pushing. 2. Nice. And then 1, release. Both feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. And out. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up. Exhale, fold, and we contract. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, big bend in the knees. Step 1 foot back, the other foot back, and lower down slow. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, everybody down. Curl your toes under, hug your elbows in, press yourself up nice and easy. 1, 2, 3, exhale back, downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. Inhale your right leg high. Hip is closed, you know the drill. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee, left tricep. Inhale, right leg high. Listen carefully. Exhale, right knee, right tricep, and then step your foot to the outside of that hand, low lunge. Now, this is going to feel different to you, but try to shift your weight over into your right hand and inhale, lighten in the left hand. So you might just stay here playing with, whoop, what's happening with my balance? Or maybe you can lift and twist up. The key to being able to twist in this posture, normally we twist the other way in case you're wondering what's so strange, is pushing the knee into the tricep into the knee, scapula together. Maybe you challenge yourself by looking up at your top hand, breath in, and out. Another breath in. And exhale, release the hand down to the ground. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend in your back knee. And then step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. And magically, we're in a yogi squat, but we're up, right? So come up, hands to heart center, maybe hands forward. Let's actually, everybody hands forward. Now push your knees out to the side with the strength of your legs. So we don't even need our hands, right? Our knees are doing it at the same time. Now power up. 1, 2, 3. Hands high, reach. Exhale, feet together. Hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. And out. Moving on, other side. Inhale, sweep the hands high, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana, contracting. Inhale, expanding, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step yourself back, straight to downward facing dog this time. Breath in. And out. Inhale, left leg high. Close that hip. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left knee, right, tuck it under. Inhale, left leg high. And then exhale, left knee, left tricep one more time, and we step that foot to the outside of the hand. So, option here would also be to come down to the back knee. Try to connect your left tricep to your left knee, and then inhale, maybe just hover in the right fingers, or reach the right hand high and try to twist up. Now, this is a big balancing act. It's essentially we have our entire balance on one long line as we reach high. Inhale. Exhale, stay. Another breath in. Exhale. I feel like we got one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hand comes down. Look forward, bend in your back knee. Step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Yogi squat. Now, lower your butt down. If you are finding it hard and you're up a little bit higher, you can come to something to support you. If you're here, right, maybe you have something under your butt, even a chair. Because what I want us to work on now is to find that rounding in the spine. So round through your spine as much as you can, whether you're here or you're here or you're here. Reach your hands forward, tuck your chin. We're coming down to a seat on our butt. In order to get there, if you're here, you're just going to find a seat on your butt. If you're here, you're going to try to drop the butt back, round through the spine, lift the hands forward, and then drop on your butt. Come to Navasana. Point the toes or flex. I don't really care. Hands might be behind the thighs. Roll the shoulders back. Breath in. And out. Maybe you're a wild child and you want to straighten your feet to the sky. Bring your hands and fall over with me. Oh my God, this is terrible. Who thought of this? Breath in. Exhale, feet come to the ground. Wrap your hands around your shins. Drop your forehead down. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take it again. Lean back, lift up, hands forward. Option to straighten the legs are round two, right? Find what works for you. Make a face, sing a song. We're expanding through the chest. Try to push the chest up to the ceiling. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, contracting. Hands around the shins, tuck your head. Breath in. And out. Inhale, look forward, release the hands down by your sides. Moving on to our peak pose for the day. So a lot of us are uncomfortable with this pose and we might be a little bit afraid. So if you have a pillow anywhere in your house, we're coming to crow pose. That is our peak pose today. In case you notice, we were like this basically all day, right? That's what we worked on. So the reason we did this though is because crow, a lot of times when you're first starting, people will tend to try to do crow and they'll kind of just fall and collapse and fall on their face. The goal is, remember, when we were working on the rounding through the spine, right? It's like I'm gonna come under and tickle your belly button. Think sucking in and up as you push down. So a few options. Option 1, if you're new to crow, it's easiest probably, if you're depending, to balance your knee on the back of your tricep. So the goal will be to kind of bring the knee to the back of the tricep here, lift your heels high, and then sit your butt back. And you'll start to kind of bend in the elbows as you lean. So I start with arms straight. And then what happens is my arms bend as I bend forward. The pillow under the face helps because in order to do this pose, you actually need to be like a little bit, you have to be closer to the lean. So you can kind of bend forward, create a shelf with your triceps, and then think tickling of the belly, pulling the feet in together. At the same time, remember when we were standing, our thighs are in external rotation. It's really weird. So you're gonna have it in external rotation and then try to squeeze in at the same time. Breath in, and you'll play. Option 2, which is a little bit better for me, is I like to hug the knees to the outside of the triceps. So instead of being balancing here, if you've got the leg strength, you can literally just squeeze yourself in. And now, if you're having trouble getting to this pose, another option would be to bring your feet up on something so you can lift yourself up a little higher. Squeeze in, and then we'll think lifting the feet, bending into the elbows. If you can, try to touch your toes together, but imagine this in and up of the belly button. Fantastic. I'm sure you're crushing it right now, but I want you to try a few more times. If you have the pillow in front of your face, great. If anyone has any questions, we are recording, but you're welcome to just pop your mic on and ask me any questions since this is our peak pose. And remember, it takes so much time to learn this. So you could just be working here. Squeeze the knees into the triceps. Think external rotation with the squeeze, because what that does is that brings the toes up and in as we externally rotate. Try one more time. Once more. Give me just one more. Remember to laugh. Think contracting. We're contracting in this posture through the spine, rounding. And then once you've had enough, you can plop back onto your butt one more time. Bring your feet out in front of you. Curl your toes back. Hands come forward. Breath in. And then lower down one vertebra at a time. Maybe you just flop down. That's always an option too, right? Bring your hands out by your sides. And then come into just a brief Shavasana. So we're not there yet, but I want you to just imagine this as a resetting after our crow, after all the movement. You're dropping back into your baseline. Breath in. And out. Press your hands down into the ground by your sides. Try to push your low back into the mat and then see if you can draw both knees up in towards your chest at the same time. And then put your feet on the ground by your hips, coming to round one of bridge pose. As you inhale, lift your hips up towards the sky. Really the opposite of what we're doing in our crow pose here, right? So try to counteract the rounding we've been doing with a nice bend. I like to try to pull my heels towards my body to try to get the back line of my legs to fire up. See if that works for you. If it doesn't, maybe you want to push away. Breath in. And then lower down one vertebra at a time, all the way down to the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, push into your feet, lift your hips up for round two. Option to lace the hands together this time. If you do have the lace of the hands, your pinky edges of your hands should be pushing into the ground as you lift up. Imagine the lift not just coming from the low back, but also from the thoracic spine, right? It's almost like you're trying to lift your heart up and over your head. Find a big breath. Release the hands if they're clasped, and then lower yourself down once more, one vertebra at a time. Hips to the ground. Press your hands down by your sides. Inhale the knees up to 90. So a couple options. We're going into an easy twist. If you'd like to cross your legs and take like eagle legs, or maybe just a single cross twist, that's fine. Otherwise, you can come with me and do a 90-degree bend. Bring your arms to a T out by the sides, either palms face up or face down. And then let's go to the right side to start. So use your core to lower those legs down. Maybe you can bump the right hip under a little bit to get more of a twist. Gaze over to the left side. Interesting thing about twists is it's easy to contract, right? It's almost as if our lungs empty themselves, but it's a bit harder to expand. So inhale, make the lungs expand into the twist. And then as you exhale, enjoy the easy contraction. If your mind wanders, bring it back to the breath. Head to center as you inhale. And then exhale, pull the belly in, shift yourself back to center. If your legs are wrapped, unwrap them and then rewrap in the opposite direction once you feel evened out, and take it over to the left side, using your core to control the fall, right? Like a controlled lean over to the left, and then take your gaze over to the right. Maybe you flip your palms face up if that feels good. Receiving energy. Come back to this idea of forceful expansion, right? It's harder to expand in the twist. So breathe deep. And then enjoy the assisted exhale, the twist. It's almost like we're wringing out a towel, right? Your mind wanders, bring it back. Expansion, contraction. Flip your palms down onto the ground if they're face up. Power up through the core. Inhale. And then exhale, bring the knees back to center. A few options to finish today. So option one, maybe you want to do another happy baby and evaluate how the hips are. Option two, you are pretty primed for a plow pose, but I encourage you, if you haven't done plow before, maybe we work on that another practice. If it's in your practice, you can kick your feet up and over your head. Hopefully you can even hear me because my mic is in my neck. Toes behind your head. Third option would be to move into a shavasana early, because man, does that feel good. So whatever you've chosen, take 4 final breaths before we surrender into the end of the practice, and see how much, no matter what posture you're in, you can expand and contract. Two more. Inhale, expand. Contract. Last one. How big can you make your breath? And then those of you who are in plow, as you exhale, come down. If you're in happy baby, same thing. The exhale will allow you to release your knees into your chest and give yourself a squeeze. Maybe you lift the forehead to your knees. And then everybody expands out into Shavasana, reaching the legs long. Palms can be face up or maybe somewhere on the body. Feel free to get comfy, grab a pillow, grab a blanket, close the eyes down. And then briefly consider one more time the role that expansion and contraction plays in your life. I think it can be easy to think, oh, contraction is bad, right? It means turning inward, but contraction is really nurturing. We do it with the seasons a lot of times, or we do it in times when we need to work on something in ourselves. We want to heal something. So just acknowledge where you are and realize that if there is one consistency, it is that every expansion is followed by contraction, and every contraction is followed by expansion. So enjoy where you are in that natural rhythm, mirroring the breath, mirroring the heartbeat. Take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. Close your mouth. Shavasana. You are welcome to stay here for as long as you like. Just shut me off and go back to Shavasana. But if you are ready to move out of your practice, you can start with just a full expansion and a relaxing contraction. Start to invite movement into your body, maybe beginning with the fingers and the toes. And then eventually rock your head side to side. Open your mouth, wiggle your jaw, wrinkle your nose. And then reach your hands above your head in a nice big stretch. Point your toes and bend left and right to stretch through the side body. And then on an exhale, hands can come down, draw one knee, and then the other knee in towards the chest. And roll over onto your favorite side, using your arm as a pillow in fetal pose. One more moment of contraction. Fetal pose is a posture turning inward, right? Nurturing. In this posture, send yourself a little gratitude and love for all of your hard work, your patience, for trying weird things. And then push yourself up to a comfortable seat, expanding. You can sit nice and tall. And then inhale your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale, slide them down your back. Bring your hands either together at heart center or maybe two hands over the heart, whatever feels more authentic to you. We'll end class by bringing our breath into unison. So just exhale here. And then inhale fully. Open mouth, exhale, slowly let it go. Again, inhale, expand. Open mouth, exhale. Last time, breath in. Open mouth, exhale, release. Blink your eyes open. Get adjusted to the room around you. Thank you all for your fantastic work today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Hang out, feel free to chat or send me a message, and I look forward to seeing you all next week at the Sunday Sweat Club. Happy Sunday. Bye.